What's going on, guys? It's Chev. Back here over on some more Modern Warfare. I also found the graphical setting to make the camos and stuff look a lot better, even though like the texture resolution is still low. Got 50 sharpening, SMA T2X. Texture resolution low, very low actually is an improvement, but it looks so bad that I just can't stand it. So this one right here, shader quality. This is why sometimes when you're watching some people's streams and their gold camo ends up looking like mustard, or it shines, but it's not really like reflective shine. It's weird. So you can just turn that to normal and everything will look like at least like a PS5 or PS4, whatever. But obviously, since we're talking about it, you can see here that I have the gold M16. So yes, yesterday I showed you guys that I finished out all of these pistols and stuff. Those are all done. All the secondaries have been done. And all I had left were the biggest classes in the game. They're also obviously the best and all-purpose classes in the game. So on top of that, they also have some of the lowest levels in the game. We may have like 8 assault rifles, right? What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's 8 of them. But so far, the highest level that you have to go to is only 21. And 2 of them are even under 20. The M16 only goes to level 16. Imagine if they made us go to level 30 with this shit. I would have been miserable. This thing was not fun to use. It's not the worst that I've used. In the medium range, like you could still get the one burst to like the upper chest or whatever if you just land all the shots immediately. And usually they can't really do anything about it. The issue is that that's not always going to be the case. So the M16 just ends up falling behind super hard. So I blew through the M4, the TAC. Actually, the SCAR was already done. So it was actually like 5 of them. No double XP or anything. But let's just say that using a fully automatic weapon is basically double XP at this point in comparison to what I have been doing. By the way, again, I want to thank you guys for all the love and support. Literally ever since the game came out, every single video has been on like the top 10 of gaming trending, and even in one case was within the top 10 trending in all of the entire website, which is the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard of considering the amount of amazing content that gets made out there. And then you just got some Call of Duty YouTuber like me. And this isn't really to undermine myself. I'm just saying, like, I don't really belong there like that. Like, I look around at all of the content around mine, that trending section, and it's just like, why am I even here? Should I curse more? People already try to tell me to tone it down. The ARs will be done today. Then I think instead of doing the SMGs, I think I'm gonna probably do the LMGs next, and then we'll just do the SMGs last. We're gonna end up finishing out this whole thing basically with the Fennec, which really won't be that bad so long as they don't nerf it. And it shouldn't be nerfed because we're gonna assume that the weapon changes are actually gonna be coming in season 1. That's what they made it sound like in the blog post that they put out yesterday. That basically had virtually no update in it. Although one really cool thing that came out, I was talking about this I think 2 or 3 days ago in my video about the kind of underhanded practices that they kind of utilize, where they aren't technically wrong for it, but they know like within the nuance of everything, they could have promoted it a little bit better in terms of the double XP thing. Basically, people were under the impression that if they got the $100 version of the game, the Vault Edition, they were guaranteed their 10 hours of double XP. But they didn't overly advertise. They did advertise it, okay? It's not like it's straight false advertising, but it's, I'd say, dishonest and underhanded. And that's where a lot of people play with all of the, you know, well, technically that's your fault. People just have no compassion. There it is, level up 14. Basically, they had a little thing going where you would get that double XP only if you pre-ordered the Vault Edition of the game through the Warzone store. You had to buy it through the in-game store through that prompt specifically. And a lot of people didn't know that. They would, you know, load up their console or whatever it is that they play on. They would load up their console, whatever it is that they play on. They don't know anything. They don't look into all this stuff. They didn't see the one graph that they ended up posting on Twitter. And yes, some creators did make some videos warning people that there is actually a difference. It's not fair, and it's stupid as fuck to think that people should be expected to watch a random ass YouTube video for this kind of information. So basically, long story short, people pre-ordered it. They thought that they were gonna get double XP. They didn't get it because it wasn't communicated properly to them. Well, Activision came out and said it actually has already begun distributing all of the double XP to the people that have actually got the Vault Edition. So if you thought you got scammed out of your double XP or whatever, it's not so much that you really got straight up scammed. They did explain it, but you were misled and you should have your double XP. This Cast-Off 545 is incredibly underwhelming in comparison to all of the other ones that I've used. It just doesn't really seem like a very good AR. 15. Hey, I know that this might sound like a little complaint, but can you guys spawn in people with like one more magazine? Like one more extra like reload worth of ammo, please? It really sucks when I'm working on my weapon and it's doing really, really well, but no one else is using this dog shit weapon, so I'm not picking up any ammo at all. So then I'm forced to run a munitions box, which only gives me 2 magazines, which I run out of. There's so many situations where I'm running around or I'm just forced to die because I don't want to use a different weapon. I'm working on this one. Level 16 already. Wow, holy shit. I'm not doing the worst in this game, but I think I'm gonna try to do a different build. I'm gonna try like a more of an SMG kind of like rush. It might be a terrible idea, I don't know. The recoil on this weapon weapon is really, really easy to handle, and its overall power is not that strong. So I'm thinking maybe if I get closer with this fire rate, it might be a bit more versatile, like short mid. I feel like I'm killing it at least one bullet slower than every other assault rifle I've used so far. A lot of the time you just lose straight out whenever you're just having a straight, honest gunfight one-on-one. They have an M4, you lose. They have an AK, you lose. You have a 74U, you definitely lose. All right, so we built it a little bit faster, kind of more like an SMG. So let's see how this goes. I'm not really sure about this suppressor. I really don't like a lot of these things that have like minus damage range, but at the same time, I want to see what the mobility is like first. I want to see how the handling feels. I was thinking on this game, the way that this game is, jump shotting is still available and everything. Slide canceling is virtually dead. It just doesn't really provide a lot of the shit that it used to. Slide canceling especially is just not as useful. Jump shotting, what else are you supposed to do, right? I put out my video yesterday and I mentioned in that video that some people have already unlocked the Orion Camo, which is amazing, right? And there's still the whole grind afterwards. Like, a lot of people think that the grind is just over after that point. There's still the weapon mastery, which is the real grind at the end of this whole thing, because you got to get 1,000 kills with every weapon. Yeah, that literally means like 1,000 javelin kills. I'm gonna vomit. Now, yeah, I'm gonna do that, but I'm not gonna follow that nearly as hard. But I feel like once I get Orion before Warzone, I'm probably gonna want to do something else. Who knows how long it'll actually take, but I'll just do it passively. I'm not gonna sit here and grind 16-hour days for this shit. I'll go do something else. Yeah, basically I just decided maybe building something for like speed, make it harder for people to hit you and shit. Any kind of outplay potential. Movement speed has always been important in COD, obviously, but in this game, it might be more important than ever. Either that or like aim walking move speed builds. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what is still the best. One thing I noticed, the difference between the normal shader versus high shader, is that the high shader actually makes the glow like almost have a bloom to it, which for whatever reason actually looks a lot more distracting in this menu than it does in game. Not sure what the challenge will be. All of the ARs was a different challenge at the end. So Infinity Ward ended up putting out an update where they said that they were speeding up Orion Camo. Oh, level 17, not bad. I think if I hit level 18 and don't know what it is, I might just back out. I'm realizing I'm starting to sound like all of those old guys that get all crazy and frustrated at quickscopers, but no, like literally, sorry, the aim assist on this game is actually dumbass broken. Saying that as a lifelong controller player, we'll be increasing the speed of the Orion Camo to animate a bit faster in a future update. How close are you to unlocking it? Obviously, right here, you can clearly see it moving, right? It's kind of still slow, but it's still moving. There were people that couldn't even recognize whether or not it was animated, the initial version, the one that we currently have. People couldn't even tell if it was animated or not. They had to have like a 20-second long clip and then look at the frame from the start of it to the frame at the end of it and see that some of the colors did in fact move. That's how people could tell. So they sped it up a little bit. But honestly, I think we add like maybe 25% more speed. I don't need anything crazy over the top where it's like, I don't know, it's gonna cause some ridiculous graphical issues or some shit. I don't know what the problem would be. To be honest, I just want all of my weapons to feel like the AUG. The issue is that you can't really go for these more speedy builds on a lot of the other weapons in the game just because of recoil and all of the negative effects that a lot of their attachments seem to have for some reason. This one, it feels like you can kind of get away with it because the recoil is not bad whatsoever. That's not bad range at all, even with like a damage range reduction. I would put the one on that helps with range, but at the same time, again, I'm just not using a lot of the value from it. So I'll just keep the mobility with this on if I'm trying to have closer engagements anyway. People have been asking me why I have a riot shield on my back. Squad spawning, that's why. I am very, very prepped for shipment as well. If we're talking about efficiency and it's literally about going through these challenges, this is not the way that I want to play. If it came down to it, I'd be running around sniping and shit with whatever the strongest version of a sniper rifle is, probably with like a knife secondary or something to try to finesse people with or some shit. Trying to get little sniper clips and shit like it's 2012 or something. That's how I would want to play. Not that these other ways aren't fun to play, but I'm only playing these ways because they're more efficient. I don't want to throw these decoy grenades. I don't want to even use a lot of these weapons. I have no interest at all, but I'm just doing it. Yeah, so they're already making updates to the Orion Camo. I'm thinking that it could do with a little bit more of vibrance as well. Just a little bit. Not too saturated, but there are darker parts of the camo that are more gray and stuff. I understand that's just kind of what a nebula does, but like, I understand it's a nebula. That's how nebulas are, but everybody's fine with dark matter being whatever color. Do we really know what color dark matter itself actually is in reality? Maybe we do. I don't know. Oh, also, I haven't looked into it yet, but I mentioned some inconsistencies going on with like ghosts and me using my advanced UAVs, for example, and getting those. I noticed weird inconsistencies, like things that we just didn't see before, but apparently there's actually a ghost nerf. I just don't completely understand it, so I don't want to go into it completely, but apparently there's some sort of ghost nerf that's going around. So I'm really curious what that is. And if you guys understand it, is it an actual like nerf? Like, would that mean that you could actually pick something besides Ghost? Because to me, it just feels like Ghost is literally just hands down. Why would you pick anything else? Yeah, so I'll definitely be finishing out the ARs. Then I'm gonna go into the LMGs. I should get through like 2 or 3 of the LMGs as well. That'll be finished. And then the next day we go through these SMGs and then we're done with all the golds. That's the hardest part. I should be receiving the new PC today, so hopefully that'll also speed up the process a little bit by just having the game run better in general. There's so many weird problems with certain maps on this game. I'll have times where like my frames are like half of what they should usually be. Like, besides all the OBS stuff, all that extra shit, there's just a lot of inconsistencies. It's so nice so far. I really hope that they have like this kind of streamlined system for the next following Call of Duties. We should probably let Treyarch know, like, hey, this system might seem a little bit easy, and some people have complaints about that, but the entire grind itself is not insanely easy. Yes, it's easy to get gold. Yes, it's even easy to get platinum, but Poly and Orion do require a good amount of dedication and time. I love how much more streamlined it is. It's way more streamlined than the old one, and I would absolutely much rather do this kind of shit versus what it used to be, going all the way up to 70 levels, doing a shit ton of challenges that forces everybody to change their play styles around, and it just makes it a miserable time. Anyone that's done those challenges completely understands this. It sucked. It really did. And although it was more challenging, it wasn't as fun, and it absolutely affected the health and the way that people played the game. This is a lot more of a natural progression, and it encourages you to engage with players. So again, thank you guys so much for all the love. Orion is supposed to be getting some sort of update. I'm hoping that they honestly update it again. It wouldn't be the first time that they do that. I mean, the amount of times that we watched the Warzone camos get adjusted, or technically, you know, it would be the Cold War camos or whatever, especially Dark Aether. That was changed like 3 or 4 times, I remember. Anyway, thank you guys so much for all the love, and yeah, it's been Jeff, guys. Later.